Welcome back to Avive la Vie. You know, the source of the majority of the problems that we have in our lives come from the fact that we're operating out of a correction mindset. Most of us are not so much aware of what we called our false belonging habits. These are habits that we develop early on. And on the Avive la Vie show, what we get to witness is people who have the same challenges that you and I have, and they start shifting this way of operating, this mindset that's negative and that keeps correcting us. And so if you look at it, let's take an example of what a false belonging habit is. So one of them is the one we call performance. So imagine you're at a young age, you come home and you have a D on your report card. So where does the emphasis go? Well, the emphasis goes on the fact that you had a D. And so what happens is then now we start developing this performance false belonging habit, which is in order to belong, in order to have value, I need to perform. I need to get back to an A. And so we unconsciously adopt this performance way of living. And then when we grow older, we have many, many goals that we constantly even pressure ourselves to achieve. And we don't realize that what we're trying to get to is a sense of value, a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment. But if you look at it, what actually happens is it lasts very, very temporarily and we're on to the next goal. So what is missing? What's missing in this equation? Well, if we go back to the D and we look at it and we stop for a second and we think, did anybody ask us, hey, are you okay? How are you doing? How are you feeling? Looks like you went from an A to a D. And did anybody stop for a second to perhaps educate us on the fact that our value and us being smart or not smart doesn't fluctuate because we have a D or an A on a report card? So those ways that we didn't receive is what we called a connection first way of living. So before we set goals, before we set in motion the behaviors we need to change and the things we need to do in lives to succeed, perhaps we could be so much more efficient if we understand that what we need most is connection first. We need to learn how to connect with ourselves and with other people. And so this connection first way of living is so much more efficient because most of us still trying to create change by using our pattern of false belonging habit and this correction mindset to change ourselves. But it never works because all we feel is just this sense of inadequacy and we keep being the hamster on the wheel, repeating the same cycle. So the solution is what we're learning on this show. Avive la Vie is all about a connection first way of living. So let's do this together. Avive la Vie.